Okay, so we're back in our quest to find the cure to ignorance. So with that, we have our. I struggle with this. It's our crew, right? Because we're not really like a party, like a D&D group. We're like a crew of people, like locked in this virtual prison who have escaped. So I have the first person I see is Sir Slekton. Say hi, Kush.
Hello.
And we have Jack.
Hello.
And we have Herbert.
Hello.
And we have Eriyou.
Hi.
So we continue where we left off. We left off in our milestone, which was overturning a criminal convention. So the quick recap was that at the end of last session, basically from beginning to end, our crew came out of this box. It looked a lot like a 3D model of like something that you'd make in The Sims, like a gray wall, like square room, and they found a way out. And when they did, speaking specifically to Lucid, so I can kind of recap Lucid as we go, everyone came out of this box one at a time, and what they saw was like a stage, as if they were like in a hotel ballroom or something like an old cinema. And they came out and they realized there was a whole crowd of people watching them. And this crowd of people were like smoking, all had guns, had jackets and top hats, looking like mobsters right out of a Dick Tracy movie or novel. And they were just stunned as one by one people came out. And I'm pretty sure Sout came out first. So Eriyou, you came out, and of course, the audience would have saw you looked exactly the same. You did not look different, other than he had this cloak on. And the cloak was something that was physical in this world. And then Jack came out, and then Jack, you looked relatively the same. But when Herbert came out, Herbert was no longer a hippo. He was like a young guy who probably was working the streets with flyers, trying to get people to sign petitions for Greenpeace, trying to save the hippos. Sir Slekton also came out looking very different, as he looked. Do you remember what you looked like?
I don't.
Okay.
I think I lost my armor and I looked very similar to everyone else.
Yeah.
But I did not realize it. I was constantly trying to find out where they had gotten their awesome shoes and jackets and hats and
Yeah.
yeah, I think I was actually wearing something pretty similar to that.
So when everybody came out, they were kind of stunned by what happened. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think when Eriyou came out, somebody critically failed. And all of these people have guns, so somebody like misfired, and then guns just started shooting all over the place. And in that confusion, everyone kind of moved from the stage doing their own thing to kind of like find safety, not quite knowing what was going on. Eriyou with this cloak was like slapping people, almost like out of Batman, where he could make the wing harden. It was like knocking people off stage. There was some guy there that was yelling about how this was his grand stage and his show, and we were ruining it. And Sir Slekton seemed to have recognized somebody and chased after him. And Jack was just trying to get off stage, as everyone's memory was kind of coming back to them of like who they were before they were in what you may have heard called the coffin. But what you would have caught as players was that they were saying that this was like going to be the grand prison for anyone the bad guys wanted to imprison. So it was some kind of technology that this guy named Rutger Glauer was screaming about, like that he made, and that it was all his thing, and that they were going to use it for their own kind of law. And people that turned against them or you tried to, step on their toes or push back against them, or judges or whoever, this would be their way of saying, well, we can lock you up too. So when the final step was that the crowd was starting to get quiet down, as this one woman who was walking down towards the middle, she seemed like she kind of could snap her fingers and make people just kind of listen. All of these people had really funny names because they all had nicknames. Like I remember, for example, Sir Slekton, you said that your character's name in this world was Lucky, was it Malone, I think?
Lucky smiles at nothing, Malloy.
Thank you. So we had Rutger on the rise, Glauer, who was the guy who was on stage with you guys, and the person that was walking down towards you, her name was Sissy, and it was Sissy Take No Shit Birmingham. So and there was this situation too where everybody who said their name was popping up and having some kind of a nickname. So, with that, does anybody have any questions about where the character was or what was going on? Okay. So, I know that Eriyou, you were just off to the side of the stage. You were kind of like right where the curtains would be. From your vantage point, you can see that in the back of the room and around the sides, there are these signs that are talking about, like, the coffin is good, and the coffin will revolutionize crime. And they're like ads, like propaganda banners along the sides and in the back. And
Yeah.
you keep seeing like some kind of bad infomercial, like that Rucker guy that you just smacked the crap out of, that his face is on the side of it with like a big smile and a cigar in his mouth with like this giant hat on. So he's totally taking all the credit for this. You had just fought that one other, what did we call them? The enforcers. You had just fought that one enforcer who was not nearly as cool, not in the system, but he still had some martial arts, but you just slapped the shit out of him. So you see him nearby you, laying there, unconscious.
Can I loot him?
Of course, yeah. So as you're going to do that, Jack, you were running off to the side too. I imagine that you were kind of by Eriyou, unless you went to the opposite side. Do you have a preference?
I went to the opposite side,
Okay.
I think.
So from your vantage point, you can see that this woman walking down the middle, remember, you recognized her name. In your head, it's coming to you that each of these people had like a profile. Because in this world, you were the law, right? You were like a detective infatuated with crime, and you were trying to get to the bottom of something that got you put into the coffin. So you have like these profiles in your head that are coming back to you, and you remember like, oh, that's Sissy Buckingham, and yeah, she would be the known like mediator here. She's one of those people. She takes no shit because when two families have a problem, she steps in the middle and she makes amends. She's the negotiator, the arbiter, the person in between, which, as you can imagine, in a room full of these people all looking out for themselves, is very useful for the criminal side of things. With that, is there anything you wanted to do right this second?
I think I was just observing. Last I remember, I believe I was concerned about Lucky.
Okay. Yeah, because there was kind of this weird bond that kind of formed in the other world, but now it's very strange for you because Lucky in this world was one of the bad guys that you were trying to follow to get down to what Rocker was actually hiding, which was the coffin. From what I remember, it actually may have even been him who bopped you in the head before they shoved you in. But in the other world, where that was all forgotten, he was Sir Slekton, who was this guy who followed you around. This wasn't necessarily your favorite person in the world, but he definitely kind of looked out for you and was always hanging around you. And he was good to you. So you have this weird sort of dual reality relationship with Sir Slekton. Last you saw Sir Slekton, he dived into the pool of people when guns were firing everywhere. He emerged with Rutger, pulling him out in like sort of a big bear hug, and was taking him back towards the stage, which I can only imagine would be towards you because you were his one recognizable friend. But Sir Slekton, what are you doing? You have Rutger, who's like, Lucky, let go of me!
But you have to meet my friends.
So while everyone is kind of like slowing down, taking their place, holding their gun up in the air but not pointing it at someone else, as Sissy's walking through, one person is running, getting on stage with just this bear hug of a thug lug kind of guy, and is just holding this guy who's kind of yelling like, let go of me, what are you doing? You gonna screw everything up? And is just running towards you, Jack, lumbering at you with a smile on his face. Like he did good,
Oh, God. That is terrifying.
Is Sir Slekton bigger here?
I think he's still unusually large for a human.
Okay. Now, of course, this leaves our mysterious character, which is Herbert. So, Herbert, you found yourself coming through. There were bullets. You came through because you just, God, I wish I could remember exactly why you ran through. I think you might have got pushed through. It may have just been GM Fiat. I was like, all right, you're going through now. But you came through, and it's up to you whether you recognize that you look different. But you will see that Eriyou didn't really look different, other than his cloak didn't look as cool. Jack really didn't look different. Now, Sir Slekton came out after you, and he obviously looked different.
Right.
But by the time you saw him, you may have just confused him with the ruckus, because he was running up to people yelling, how do I get shoes like that? How do I get a hat like that? Where can I get a shirt like that? Because he was wearing it. He looked like everyone else.
Okay.
Now,
go on.
the one thing that you need to know is that what's going to come to you throughout this, which I'm just kind of feeding you information right now, is that Dr. I was going to say Dr. Rowe, but is that right for your relationship?
Yeah.
Was it Dr. Rowe? Dr. Rowe created the coffin. So this was his design. Now, I was leaning towards maybe having some kind of relationship with him that could be either work relationship or family relationship, but it would have brought you close to this. I was leaning towards I live by Chicago, so I know people who unfortunately have to work the streets, and they're like, hey, sign this petition for Greenpeace, and just people left and right walking by them, ignoring them, like, I don't got time for you. So that's kind of what I was seeing in my head, was you could have been this guy who really loved hippos. Maybe you were inside for a test. Maybe you got shoved inside. Maybe the doctor got shoved inside. But I'm just feeding you thoughts of where you could go with these things if you like any of those. Yeah. So, do you have any thoughts right away? Would you like to be, hey, I'm a hippo? And
Well, yeah, after all of the initial panic or talking to Lucky and all that, that's when I kind of like looked down and just. I have fingers. But
they look
as
very
I
well
look
moistured.
myself over,
You have like baby soft skin because of your moisture mantle.
yeah, and also like I'm very oddly proportioned. Like I have these really massive arms and legs, but my torso doesn't match at all. So
it's kind of like Popeye,
like
but like 10 times.
yeah, kind of with the legs too, and it gives me like still like the hippo speed and strength. And my teeth feel different, and they look normal to other people currently, but there is something going on with my teeth too.
Awesome.
But I'm mostly just kind of like, what happened?
Do you notice?
What happened?
Do you notice?
I'm just kind of
like,
doing
these
this while this is all
pamphlets
going
fall
on.
to the ground.
I'm too stunned
Okay,
right now
yeah,
still to. Like in my head, I'm a hippo. Damn it! I'm not a green. I don't know. I'm not a Greenpeace activist. Like in terms of like an actual real world human one. Like I'm a hippo who's just been put into this. As far as I'm concerned, maybe I'm just wires crossed from the whole transfer situation.
Sure. Yeah.
But I have no idea what's going on other than I have fingers when I shouldn't.
I was
And
kind
like
of
this whole gunfight and stuff's going on, and I'm just like.
It's very fitting. It's very fitting too because everyone else kind of did weird things. They kind of like almost ignored the gunfight at first. Like Eriyou just kind of ran across stage slapping people till he got to the side. Jack was like rolling as if there was cover, like bobbing and weaving. No one was shooting at her. Eriyou thought that he actually waved off all the bullets like Neo, but it was actually the lights flickered and he didn't see it. He just assumes that he's got like powers with the cloak. Sir Slekton just chose to pretty much ignore it and was like, hey, I could really use some clothes to look like you guys. So it's no surprise that you just stood there kind of stunned looking at your hands while bullets were flying and people were yelling and the room was billowing with smoke.
And in the coffin, I had that coat and the hat.
Yeah.
I'm still wearing a regular hat and a coat, but underneath the coat, all I have on are a pair of like heart boxers.
Okay, so as all that's kind of gone on, you obviously do not have any of your memory kind of crashing onto you yet. You're just kind of stunned. I'm a hippo. You see this woman kind of like in the haze of you being so disoriented. You're not really seeing clearly or paying attention to anything. So before you know it, it's like all the noise is really in your head. It's no longer out about because things got really quiet, except for Sir Slekton just, hey, you guys, I'm coming. And this guy he's holding, like, let me go, you idiot. This woman walks up, and she's holding her fist up. For a description, she doesn't look like some giant or anything. She looks like an average woman who looks a little kind of tough, kind of like almost like she should have a biker jacket. But she's still a little dressed like the others, with her sleeves rolled up, a little bit of kind of like black hair that's just kind of like punked up a little bit, almost like she was out of grease or something. But you could tell that she just, without any guns out, just with her hands, that she, people are like, in fear of her, maybe her reputation. Jack found out that she's really good with like judo, so she can like flip and throw people. But so you're starting to hear her voice kind of come through like this sort of disoriented haze, and she starts yelling, "Rutger, what is this? You said that thing was airtight. You said that Harry Houdini couldn't get out of that thing. Who are these people? What is this?" With that, does anybody do anything?
Did I do anything of significance?
Oh, okay. What strategies do you have that might help you find something?
That's a good question, Pete.
It is.
I should know this.
The good questions.
I have researching, being a dick, and post-it notes.
Well, it's really more about how you choose to go about it, right?
I feel like being a dick is probably the best way to go about it, because I just slapped this guy unconscious. Instead of checking if he's okay, I'm just seeing like, hey, wonder what he's got that might be useful.
Okay.
Because again, like maybe he's got like another piece to the puzzle. Like I still think I'm inside like a system within a system, so I don't think like I'm fully out yet.
I'm gonna throw up that chat window, and why don't you give us a roll?
Okay. Is that imagined or reason?
I'm gonna say it's imagined because how being a dick is gonna help you find something. Okay.
Oh. I got double fail.
Okay, great. Any tags?
I think I have 3, right? If I last recall correctly.
Okay.
3 belief. I don't remember how much belief I left off with.
That sounds
but
right.
I have an ego, and I think because of my ego, like I just beat this guy, so I'm like triumphant over him. So it's like everything that is on him, even his clothes, is mine by right. Like
Even his clothes.
by the right of combat.
Okay. So before you roll, what would you hope to find out for this guy?
So do I have the pen or not? I can't remember if I have the pen that was like talking to people.
Actually, I think that Herbert had it, right? Because he got forced to wear it.
No, it was put into Sir Slektington's armor.
Oh my bad. Yeah, it was Slekton. Yeah.
So what
Slekton
happened when
has
his armor disappeared?
It's in his pocket, probably.
Yeah. Probably, if you're looking for it, you'd probably see Nibs like just sitting in his pocket, right? The little push button up sticking
So I
out
have
of
the
his pocket.
quote. Maybe the pen's a key, and then like maybe this guy's got like the manual, like the manual to leave this world that people don't realize we're also in another weird old system. And, like I need the pen, the manual, and the cloak. Like I don't know.
Well, it sounds fair if that's what you're looking for, and it sounds almost delusional, right? So we'll see how this goes. Which, mind you guys, remember that we can vote tags on him. If he does become the most delusional one, we can work
Okay, I have 1 success and 1 fail now.
Okay. And you only have 3 beliefs, so that's all you get. So with 1 success...
Unless someone out there wants to give me a belief by donating $5 to Pete.
There you go. So, 1 success, looking for a manual.
No, I was looking for anything magical or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I don't know. I guess a manual would work. I don't know.
What would
I'm up for whatever the DM gives me.
What do you guys think would be something fun that he could find that may or may not have some meaning to it? But he's going to find meaning in this. So it could be like a matchbook. What other would be something else that'd be like pretty common of this sort of like 40s? You could find a handkerchief.
Ooh, what if it's something out of place though? Like something that we're in the 40s, right? But this is like, dude, he's got a tablet. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Or cell phone. I think it'd be cool. Just give me something off the wall. Like,
But you wouldn't know what it was. You'd just be like, look, it's like a box. It's like
no,
a
but I
box of
would
buttons.
because remember I was in the system, and then the system was all futuristic, like current times.
Well, the system that you saw actually was like Roger Rabbit, so it was like the 40s or the 30s or the 20s. Something
Oh,
like that.
what? My
Yeah,
bad. Sorry.
no problem. That's actually what made the Enforcers kind of super scary, right? Because they kind of do have tech in a way, tech scariness.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm piecing it together in my mind now. My bad.
Okay, but you did have
I'm
post-it
gonna say a
notes.
yo-yo or a passport.
Ooh, I love it.
Yes.
Let's give you a yo-yo, because that's pretty odd too, right? And people used to have those more commonly. Yeah, so
Okay.
you're reaching through his pockets, and you find more post-it notes, which you're like, I don't need these. You find some money, but it
I
doesn't look
pocket
like,
the money.
it doesn't look like money to you, right? But you're smart enough to know, hey, this is money. It just looks
I
different,
pocket.
right?
Just in case.
You pocket it anyway. You're like, whatever, it's money. And you find this yo-yo, and of course a lighter, and a pack of smokes, right? Soft pack, kind of smashed.
I pocket every. Like I said, I loot this guy bare bones basically.
All right. So
What you
Anything that
don't
he
use,
had-
you can sell at a shop.
Well, like my character doesn't really care about possessions, but like again, I still feel like I'm in the system, and any of these could be clues. I have to just research everything later. So I have a yo-yo now. Is it wooden or is it like metal?
let's say it's metal, probably like aluminum or
Awesome.
something, probably colored, painted. It looks pretty cool.
Good.
In my head, I'm thinking like red and yellow stripes on it.
I'm going to use that as a weapon next, so
There
that's
you
what
go.
I'm asking.
Okay. When you find it though, you have never seen one of these, but you've seen pictures of them, like in the other world, right? So it was like,
Right. Can I
it was
use my
almost-
researching skill to see if I'm already like skilled at using the yo-yo?
we can just assume, like, why not, right?
Cool.
You're a natural with the yo-yo, so unless you roll really bad, and then we'll say that
Yeah. Gotcha.
So you find this thing that you only saw in like ripped out pieces of paper that came out of magazines. And you're like, oh my god, it's a yo-yo. It must be a sign. And Jack, Sir Slekton runs up to you holding this guy. Sissy steps up on the stage and points in. You can see her like pointing 10 feet behind Sir Slekton. That guy is a fraud. And I don't know who any of you are, but all I can tell is you belong in the box. So, Herbert, you find yourself, you're probably like 5 feet away from her as she kind of like climbs up on stage, not taking the stairs. And Jack, you're by the curtain. Sir Slekton's between you and her. It's very clear to you that she could command this room if she wants to. So there's a little bit of, if you just let this keep going, she's going to have a room full of people with guns who could probably make that happen.
2 quick questions.
Go for it.
The one I missed, since the milestone wasn't complete, did anything go up on the sheet? Did you get any points or anything, or only if you complete a milestone?
You would have one more belief.
Okay. And then the last time I played, I was down to 3 body from 5. Would that be back at 5 since I wasn't actually
Yes.
hurt in the other world? Or okay.
Well, yes. I was going to say, it'd be funny if you were still thinking you were 100% the hippo, then it would be like, no, then it's still there. But yeah, because you're recognizing you're a human, so that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, and you see this woman, she looks kind of strange. These people, just because they're all people, usually in your world, they were all there'd be more cartoon characters amidst this crowd. There wouldn't be nearly 100 human beings in here, all dressed the same, no less. Like, you'd only see a handful of these characters. So it's very strange. It's probably kind of intimidating. I wonder what it'd be like, because if you were a hippo and then you're like, wait, I'm a human like them and everyone's a human? I don't know.
No.
But Pete.
Yeah.
Did we do new vision rolls at the end of the last session?
We did.
Should we talk about those?
No.
Okay.
What we did, so it's just, we hid the vision rolls for the next milestone because it was very likely that this milestone would end and we'd go into the next one, and we didn't want to do it in the middle of the Twitch stream. So we were like, we'll sneak
Okay.
and do it ahead of time. So I
Gotcha.
made some notes for that. That's what she's talking about.
Okay. What do you mean I belong in a box? You saying we belong in a zoo? I'm a free range animal, lady.
She looks at you. Yeah. Free-ranged animal? What kind of animal are you? You're just a malformed, poorly created excuse for a man. She walks up to you and she starts poking you in the chest with her finger. And it's forceful too. If you're a meek person, maybe you would take a step back as you were forcibly poked in the chest.
Well, I mean, I don't know what her strength is
Yeah.
or anything, but with the body of 5 still, I kind of feel like I can kind of stay there
Sure.
while she pokes it.
No, you could.
And then, don't poke me, ma'am. I don't know what I'm doing in this body. I don't know what you all did to me, but I ain't going in no box.
Slekton, Rutger, you have him in your hands. You get up to Jack. He is yelling. The whole time he's been like, put me down. You idiot. You're going to ruin everything. This is our show. That's the coffin. You're supposed to be in it.
I think coffins are for dead people. Rucker, this is my friend Jack. We solve crime together. Jack, this is Rucker. He's like my big brother. I know you're going to be best friends.
It comes back to you, Jack, that as you see the two of them, you know, the dumb lug holding Rutger, that these two were definitely a part of the same crew, and they were after this special thing that they thought was going to revolutionize the world of crime. You know 100% that you were after these two, and the last you remember is that you were really close to eavesdropping and figure out what exactly was going on, and you were put in the box. So at this moment, you see for the first time you right in front of Rutger. If there's anything you wanted to do to him, because he's the reason. You don't even know how long it's been. You don't know how long you've been away from whatever loved ones you have. You don't know if they had a funeral for you at the force. If you were a police detective, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they could have had a funeral for you, and told your nearest of kin. And, I mean, the works. If it's been, days or a week, 2 weeks, maybe it's been a year. Who knows?
So I'm gonna stare first at Lucky, and then at his friend, and then at the woman in the background.
Yeah, who is fiercely jamming her finger into Herbert's chest. And for you, like I said, you can kind of read this room, and you see, like, she's got the force of the room if she wants to use it. And that's like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah. And then I see just the crowds of criminals, all which have guns.
Oh, we got an echo. I like
Yeah,
when
I
it
heard
happens. Everyone like looks up, like, wait a tick. Okay. I feel, Morgan, do you have anything like your volume of like listening? It's on your headphones, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you sound okay. Okay. I'll try to catch it next time. Let me turn down my speaker in case it's me.
Is it still going?
No, it just popped in. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay.
Okay. So what are you doing?
I was gonna say, I look at this room full of criminals.
Yeah.
All of which are armed. I assume I don't think, because I went out before, I think, Herbert. I don't know that that's Herbert.
Yeah.
I don't know where Eriyou is.
Yes.
And Lucky is all of a sudden one of the people I was trying to get.
And you do know you are delusional. Like, you know that
Yeah.
about yourself.
I'm just gonna turn and run.
Okay.
These are criminals. I am a police officer. They are gonna kill me.
Okay. Awesome. Eriyou, you're digging through the pockets. All right. So, Herbert, she's in front of you, poking you. You say what you say. It sounds like the conditions have all met up that we have a challenge. So, the conditions of the challenge are, we have we do have this fancy screen. I guess I should try that out. Let's see if I can move this over and go to page. Okay. And see if I can zoom that in for our people at home. And maybe a little over to the left. Okay, so it's a little small, but you can still see it. And this is our little challenge box on the GM sheet. And I'm going to go ahead and use it so I can write it here so people can see it. And on the sheets, we're going to say that this challenge is, in a lot of ways, figuring out how we're going to overturn a criminal convention. So, given the situation, I'm going to find one of these handy-dandy tools. Maybe use a texter here. Let's pop that up to, that looks good. Maybe go like 32. Okay, and we're going to give it a mind of, given this, I'm going to say it's a 7. Outsmart this. We're going to give this a body of, God, the body's a real problem. We'll say it's probably an 8. There's a lot of people in this room if you need to use them. If you can manipulate the mob or convince one of these people or give them what they want, that's probably pretty non-difficult. The only problem, though, is we just lost the person who kind of knows who wants what. So I'll make that a 6. Okay. Last but not least, we need some tags. So what defines the advantages this situation has is that we have a lot of criminals. So I'm just going to say lot of crims. We have Sissy. Sissy's the boss of this room. She can do what she wants. And honestly, I think Rutger's a real wild card in this situation. So, but I'm going to say a lot of crims and guns over Rutger. Because, I mean, you guys don't really have weapons. Any one of like that 100 criminals could just start shooting and be a real problem.
I have a weapon.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, given that, Herbert, you're kind of lined up first, right? You have the most pivotal position right now to do something. So, how would you like to frame something to improve the situation for our crew here?
Like, you mean my first action? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how does she respond to what I said? I kind of, in telling her to stop poking me and all that. That'll kind of inform what I do.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, she is just in slow motion jamming that finger in your chest. You said, stop it, and she's just poking. It doesn't go on for like 10 minutes, but like another 5 seconds as she kind of looks at the crowd and almost like a actor herself reads the room of like, what does she have to do to show force here?
Okay. Well, seeing that she doesn't stop, I'm starting to get like mad and like, hippo mad.
Hippo mad.
As she pulls back to go poke again, I just bite her finger off.
Okay. What strategy do you have that would help you?
Mighty Mouth.
Mighty Mouth. Give me a reason, Mighty Mouth. I would have said imagine, but she's still kind of like how you described how your human is. It sounds like you have just as much, mouth power going on. So,
is a tie a success or no?
No, got to be under.
Okay.
Okay. And any tags?
Intimidating.
All
I think it'd be a pretty intimidating use to bite off her finger.
Yeah. It's pretty classic. You're pulling like a Walking Dead move here. The comics, not the book. Yeah, I mean not the
Do I
show.
use it to reroll both or just one?
Just one. Use one per each roll.
Okay.
And so was that for your strategy or your soul skill?
I mean, if they're both, I'll go with the soul.
Okay. And then as soon as you get a success, I'm going to see if my challenge has any tags I can use against you. And you were going to just bite that finger off. But Sissy herself, it's just her judo nature. She's just always aware of her body and the bodies around her, so she can best use leverage against them. So as you go to bite her finger, it's almost like she's not paying any attention to you, but that finger just curls back and then comes back and pokes you again. So in your case, you have one success so far. Do you have? Go ahead and re-roll that success and see if it sticks. Okay, cool. Do you have any other tags you want to use?
For the other
Assuming
one,
you have more than you have 4 or more belief, which I think you have 4, right?
well, I haven't used any, so.
Oh, okay, you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Rampaging hippo.
Rampaging hippo. How does that manifest in the real world?
Either that or just a regular hippo. Either way, like they're coming at me, and she's talking about throwing all of us in there, and I recognize the other ones enough that, like hippos are very. Actually, no, family oriented. Then, because I kind of consider these people like my current pod, basically.
Pod. That's a great word.
Because we were all thrown. I don't know what the actual group of hippos is called.
No,
but
good.
we're all kind of thrown in the situation over our heads. Don't really know what's going on, but we're clearly in it together.
Okay.
So.
And all right. So we got a 3 and a 4, 2 successes. With that, my pencil, it's black, hard to see on the black keyboard, has 2 successes. That's body. Oops. Sorry, out of habit, I'm looking at my sheet instead of the virtual sheet. So 2 points to the body brings that down to 6. If I can get it to stick. Here, how about this? La-da-da. Don't laugh. It could happen to you.
You might have to delete the 8 and just put a new.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I'm just gonna put the 6 here. We'll use like video game, like just the little points sticking up. Okay, so we know it's a 6. Do you want to remove Lotocrims, Sissy, or guns as a part of the advantages of the challenge, or do you want to add something?
Take her out of it, I think.
Take her out of it.
Take her out of it. Maybe the pain of it, the shock of it. As I reach forward, just like bite off her finger and just start chewing on it and like swallow it right in front of her.
Wow, that's
And then
horrifying.
the blood and like chewing on the bone, like if you look closely, like the teeth, most of them still look white, but it looks like part of them have like kind of chipped away, and you see like metal implants that were hidden by like a white veneer.
Wow. Okay, Sissy's gone. I'm gonna pull that 8. And okay. So moving right along, we took Sissy. Sissy's got you bit that finger, white veneer. She's looking in horror. She keeps stone face as she turns and stares at you, and basically is still pointing what should be a finger. Instead, it's just a closed hand with no finger sticking out. Did you bite it all the way to the knuckle, or does she have a stub?
No, I was thinking probably the to the knuckle.
Okay. Who's got something they want to do next? We still got a lot of criminals. Sissy may be in charge, but I'm assuming a lot of people are going to start jumping out of their seats, and they're going to be real mad at that hippo. Okay. Nobody chooses an action immediately, so the people in the crowd start climbing to the stage. They start yelling, and people are pulling out guns that look a lot like Tommy guns. And some people who are getting closer are running at you with like saps, basically, or quarters in their hands, bundled up with knuckles, and they're running on stage. And this room is becoming a madhouse. So, Lucid, the first people, the crowd is coming at you, and they're trying to hit you with all kinds of little things. So, in your case, what strategy would help you basically defend yourself, or
at this point, I think rampaging hippo would work. Okay. I see them coming at me with these weapons. I just kind of like throw down, like charge straight at them too with my arms. You just.
Okay. In this, that's so great. What did you imagine rampaging hippo?
I'm sorry, that was a tag, not a strategy.
Okay.
So for strategy, it would probably be the deceptively fast. Like I can move in. Yeah. So would that be imagine or reason? I'm still acting the same way, but
I feel like that's well. Let's say imagine, because honestly, the problem is that it's kind of like you're being attacked from all sides. So we'll say it's imagine, because it's not like you're trained to be attacked by like crowds.
Right.
If you were a hippo in the circus, you might have an argument to make. You know.
Okay, they both failed.
Okay.
So
Tags.
Now I think like the rampaging hippo tag for the reasons I went into the first time would be a good re-roll.
And you're basically, I take it that you know, they run at you, and instead of like cowering or like, you know, holding your arms up and trying to defend yourself,
Right.
you're like, "Rah!" You probably like, I can imagine you making some kind of a hippo roar, like butting people and charging.
And that would be for the soul skill.
All right. As soon as you get one, like we said, there's a lot of criminals.
Yeah.
So we're going to hit you with that one first. And see if that 5 sticks. And it does. Okay. Any tags that can help you with the other one?
At this point, I think intimidating again. Like, just
Okay.
bit off a finger, they're coming at me, and I just run at them instead. I think, it's kind of intimidating.
I would think of them again with our Matrix references, right? It's almost like the Agent Smith scene where like all these Smiths are like pouring onto Neo, but in your case, like that blurring fast movement is really just you kind of like fighting like a hippo. You're like heel kicking, charging, shoulder ramming, like pushing people off stage with your head. You know, like. Right.
Oh.
And okay, so 1 success. With that, so you take 1 point to your body and you deal 1 point. So what's next? Anybody got something?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna spin that yo-yo and hit as many people as I can.
What strategy do you think that is?
Being a dick. Only a dick would use a toy as a weapon.
Okay, and it sounds good. It sounds like Imagine.
All right. Okay. I got 1 success so far.
Okay, and let's see if I can. 5.
I have a tag. Oh, what? You're gonna use me? You can make me reroll?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if I can, right? So you're gonna spin the yo-yo. So obviously a lot of crims can't be a problem, right? It'd be easy to thanks. There's so many to hit. I can hit everybody. But they have guns, so you pull the yo-yo out and you throw it, and then
I spun it, like, and then,
Sure.
I'm doing like a yo-yo trick.
Okay. All right. I was
Around
thinking,
the world.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you know that move? Do you say that?
Well, my scholarly tag for my reroll, I
Sure,
figured,
okay.
I
So
heard about the story
You start
once.
spinning it, and when you start spinning it, before you hit anybody, they all start pulling out their handguns and pointing them at you. So
All right. So I have to reroll?
Yeah, reroll.
Which tag do I use to reroll again? I forgot which button
It's
it
up
was.
to you. Which tag
Oh, it's
are
a
you gonna
blank
use?
one. Okay. That
Oh,
was
sorry.
my being. Well, that's the only one I could reroll was the being a dick. So that's still a success.
Okay. And is that?
I'm
is
going
that
to
a
say my
success?
ego. Even though they're pulling out guns, I have like the yo-yo of truth. Like they stand no chance. Like my ego's just so inflated right now.
So I
He still thinks he has Neo powers.
It's like I have the cloak, I have the yo-yo. I'm missing the pen, but I'll get that later. You know.
Do you say anything when you do this?
They're pulling out their guns, right? But they're like mid-draw, right?
I was thinking they all point their guns at you, and it's like
Okay.
that comical moment where you like start spinning a yo-yo, and then they all put guns at you and click, and then
Yeah.
you're supposed to put the yo-yo down, but instead you don't, and you do.
Right. I would keep it. I would be like, I waved off the gun to her, so like that's not gonna affect me. So I feel like it's like the ego.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, then I can try something else.
I just want you to tell me a little more description. That's kind of what I want.
That's fine. Okay.
I like it.
So like they pull it out, and then it's like my mind is like, ha, those don't work on me, and I just keep spinning it, and then I just, ideally whack all 3 of them.
So it's like they all should have pulled the trigger by now, but they're in disbelief. As you
Yeah.
They
I'm not
can't
scared at all.
believe that you could seriously
Point
be
blank.
this confident with a yo-yo.
Yeah. Okay. The second roll is still a fail,
Okay. So you got 1 and 1.
but 1 and 1.
Okay. And with that, so you deal 1 point to the body, and you take 1.
Oh no.
Basically when you hit their guns.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be really that great if a gun hits you. It'd
No, it's
probably
okay.
be
I'll
better-
take a shot.
It's more likely that I think what would happen. Yeah, you would hit the yo-yos, and somebody would shoot, and you would basically get like a
The grades.
Yeah, like a graze, right? Because it would have shot
Yeah.
you in the chest, but it grazed your arm.
Yeah. As I knocked them out in their heads. Thunk, thunk. Triple thunk.
I would think you really kind of you knocked some of the weapons out. Some of them you threw their arms in different directions. Some of them you kind of pushed. As they held on their guns, so they just kind of ran with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 point to the body. Morgan or Kush, do you have something?
I have a plan. However, I'm not exactly sure how to pull it off.
Now, it's worthwhile, too. You said you were going to run, and that could help.
Actually, I have something to go with that.
All right, cool.
Should I just explain what I want to attempt to do?
Please do.
Okay, so I want to run out of the room, into the hallway or the area behind, and I want to try to find a fire alarm. Or a fire bell or some kind of that. Something that will sound reminiscent of a police siren.
Oh, okay.
So that I can find that and then a megaphone or an intercom or something. And I can pull my police voice and act like the entire building is surrounded by cops. When in reality I'm the only person. But I want to try to make the illusion that there's tons of police cars and police officers and there's whatever's the equivalent of the 40 SWAT team. That type of stuff.
Okay.
And I want to try to intimidate the criminals into panicking because they think that the area is surrounded by cops.
What strategy do you think would help you with that?
Deductive reasoning.
Okay, so I'm going to say it's imagine, only because when you run out of there, you still need something to work with. So as you run out there, you could put it together if you could just find the stuff you need. Ooh.
Oops. I didn't mean to do that.
No, that's great. Oh,
That
it's
was
a
a
visual
visual
roll.
roll.
No. Okay.
I mean, either way, that still would have. That's the same numbers as would have been for my
That's true.
strategy.
That's
and
true. You
thing.
still would have rolled that. So, and we haven't had a crit success in a long time. So, what is the best possible thing that could happen? Now, that always ends with you. So, I'm just going to go around the top of the Twitch feed and go with Kush first, and then we'll go to Lucid and then Sour. So, Kush, what's the best possible thing that could happen? She runs out of this room looking for some way to make everyone in this building think that the cops are outside. That this maybe sirens, maybe a fire alarm, maybe SWAT. Who knows? The feds, the president.
Yeah, I'm thinking it sounds exactly like a police siren, and every one of those lot of crims in the room, all at once, scream at exactly the same time. You hear this chorus of hundreds of voices saying, "It's the feds! Scram!" And they all just different directions, different exits. They just all start to run.
Okay. Now, what do you think it would be? Right? What do you think she would find to do that?
Yeah, I'm thinking just like a fire alarm. This is the 40s, right? It's all different sounds. They might be fairly similar.
Sure.
I don't. Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. Yeah, they might not be. Well, they'd be distinct to the police officer, right? To just anybody, they might be "Is that the cops?"
Right.
Lucid, what do you think?
Well, she said she was going for the fire alarm type of thing.
And
Maybe.
this is a criminal convention, so she would sneak out the side door, and maybe she would be in a hallway with people with vendor tables or something. People could be rocking the halls. She could be in some back room.
I was thinking maybe for whatever reason, maybe instead of the typical sprinkler system, it's actually a dry chemical fire suppression system. And so when she pulls it and it releases it, it just releases this big poof, a cloud over the whole thing. And it gets in a bunch of their eyes and they can't see and stuff. And they're panicking, breathing it in and choking on it, and helping us kind of potentially get away.
Sal, what do you think?
I think it's the best possible outcome, right? I feel like she would go out there and her plan was to fake it, but in actuality, the police are outside. And when she goes to say, drop your weapons, we have you surrounded, it just happens to sync up with the real audio of the guy outside saying the same thing. So it's wow, this sounds really realistic, right?
Yeah.
Or Jack's wow, this is working better than I thought. But it's only because there's an actual squad of people.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Morgan, you heard everything they said. What do you think is the best possible thing that could happen?
I liked all of those, Cush and Lucids especially. But I want to say, Pete, just make the best action movie scene you possibly can.
Okay. All right. So you run out the side door. You see a fire alarm right outside the doorway. When you go to pull it down, basically there's like a delay, right? Oh no, actually the best part, you said best action movie, right? You go to try to pull the alarm, but there's a box over it so that people can't hit it on accident, and you can't get it open. But across the hallway is like the fire hose that buildings used to have in case of a fire, and there's an axe inside of it with a big red head on it. Which I assume you would take that axe and you would bust open this fire, the fire alarm handle, drawing a bunch of attention in the hallways. All these people are just kind of like, shady people with like smoke in the hallways and like we said, flapper women that are walking around, and some sort of like speakeasy jazz music that's kind of playing through the halls, are all just kind of stunned as you run out, and it's real important to you to open this case. You break open the axe window, take it out, and smash this fire alarm thing. Pull the handle as cigars are just falling, and these people are all starting to like kind of grab their cash and get up from their seats and move, because what they see from you is there obviously must be a fire. So all of the people in the hallway all start, only looking out for number one, which is themselves, and all start just kind of moving down the hallway and running with wads of money. So that's kind of what's going on as you pull the fire alarm. In the other room, let me just switch this back over. In the other room, there is water that starts to drip out of the ceiling. And then this alarm starts going off. And as the water is kind of like leaking over most of the crowd, it doesn't quite get the people in the curtains, under the curtains, which would be where Jack was, where Eriyou is. Lucid, we could say that Herbert, you're right in the middle of it. So, unfortunately, you'd be like smack dab with whatever's going on. But there could be these people that are all kind of mobbing you. So maybe you're not really being heavily affected. And Sir Slekton, you'd be off stage enough that you're not really getting blasted. But as the drip starts, it's just water at first, but then like this chemical starts busting through, and people start hearing the siren and the alarm, and they're getting stuff in their eyes. So it's causing pandemonium in the room. In your case, for Jack, what health did you want to target? Does this affect their body because it hurts them? Does this affect their spirit, their morale? Does it convince them to leave? Does it outsmart them in the way that it hurts their mind because they go, oh, that alarm, that must be the cops. Or this building is actually like on fire or something.
As much as I'd like to say body, because that's the lowest one, I think this is a mind target.
Okay. So, smacking that, you also could remove a lot of criminals or guns. Or you could add something.
I think there won't be very many fighting criminals after this.
That's very true. Okay, and I'm going to say a lot of criminals. Okay. All right. With that, that's kind of how the scene's changed so far. What's next? What's Cush doing? What is Sir Slekton doing? Is now there's like these weird popping sounds. It's like this. Some of these drips, the sort of things in the ceiling, actually just kind of pop and then like sprout gas. And now a lot of the people are like getting weird stuff in their eyes, giving them like a mace or pepper spray effect. And they're kind of looking up to the sky. And some people are around the sides of the room, kind of trying to bail and back out gracefully because of the siren sounding. Sissy is in the front, and some people are still. The people who were fighting Herbert are still there because they're like in the thick of it. You've lost sight of Jack as she ran out basically there's a flapping door as she ran out of the side door. You may see Eriyou, but you may not.
Sir Slekton has no idea what's going on, has no idea what's going on. He is mostly latched on to this idea that he is trying to introduce Rutgers to all of his friends, and apparently Sissy wants to know who all of his friends are as well. So, still holding Rutger, walk up to Sissy, just ignoring the bloody hand, and just start introducing ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. So ignoring the bloody hand. Okay. Now she was trying to talk to Rutger before she was so rudely lost her finger. So in your case, by bringing him up there, you could have some sway in conversation. Not so much with the, hey, how's it going? This is Rutger. Do you know Rutger? What strategy do you want to use?
I don't know that this falls under a strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, this is more just like trying to strike up a conversation. Like, hello, Miss. I am Sir Slekton, or I guess I know at this point that I'm lucky again. So I am Lucky Malloy, and this is my buddy Rutger. All the people that you're asking about are my friends.
So,
well, except this gentleman. But I don't know who he is.
So as you approach her and you start saying these words, she's going to try to judo flip you.
That makes sense.
Because that's what Sissy Takes No Shit Buckingham does when some guy walks up to her saying stupid stuff in the middle of a fist fight at the criminal convention. So you come up. Now, when you do this, right, Rutger, did you let go of him, or are you still holding him? Like,
Still holding him.
So you're talking. Rutger is looking at her. Sissy, I didn't know it was supposed to be impenetrable. The doc, he said that no one gets out. We had the enforcers. I don't know what it could be. And she's obviously listening to him as you're off to the side, like right there talking. You know, like, hey, these are all my friends. And she looks over, and then that's when her attention, flows over to you as you kind of like, your face is between the two of them eventually. And she just tries to take you and flip you over. So in your case, what strategy would help you defend like a judo flip?
Probably swordplay is
Awesome.
the closest thing.
Are you using Rutger like a sword?
I am parrying her arms with his face.
Okay. Imagine swordplay.
All right, looks like one success.
Okay. As soon as you get a success, there's a lot of guns. I don't really see that being a problem here because she doesn't have a gun, and
She does have a finger, man.
you know what? But since we still have a tag to hold against you, I'm going to try to use it, which is that there are people with guns all around you, and as you approach holding that basically Rutger, someone just tries to shoot you. So as you're coming up and you're talking, and Rutger is like talking, someone off to the side takes aim and takes a shot at you. So what tag would help you? And that's first of all, reroll your success. See if this shot affects you. I guess.
Nope.
Not at all. You hear a bullet go past your head, like an array of bullets, which must be like a Tommy gun. As you hear somebody off in the crowd, if the audience would hear somebody in the crowd that's like, "Don't shoot, you idiot, you could hit Sissy." And the gun kind of lifts up in the air and shoots up over your head, and totally unaffected other than there were bullets that flew over your head. Any tags you want to use to better your situation?
So Sissy is trying to judo flip me. I assume that she's going to come in with her hand like right at me. I'm going to assume that being as well mannered as I am, this milestone, I think she's trying to shake my hand. I'm just going to hand it like that might be a stretch, but
I love that.
Okay, what tag would that be?
that would be the well mannered vision tag.
Okay, you use. Let's see how well mannered helps. All right, that's 2 successes. We've got a 3 and a 5. So, and what's your belief, by the way? Just making sure.
5.
Okay. Okay, 2 successes. In your case, this is you were planning on using Rutger for your actually parrying. So it sounds like this could be a body thing. Unless you were going to try to target something else. Do you think there's a good case for something else?
I think I'm more defending against the body. I think that makes the most sense. I think this is separate than the conversation.
Okay, so yes, all right. So we have 2 points going towards the body. We have guns that was a problem, but you may have just made a case for why people can't be shooting. If you want to remove that, or you could add something that might help your friends.
Yeah, I can't see how this could possibly have gotten rid of guns.
Okay.
But let's throw in something really, really unlikely, like a change of heart for Sissy. She's on. My handshake is just that firm.
Okay, so what do we see as the audience? When she goes to grab you, to judo flip you, what happened?
She goes to grab me to judo flip me, but I take her hand and we shake. And she looks at me and she's like, "Yes, you get it. This is how a lady needs to be treated." She's like, "That's all I wanted to know was who you are and why you're here." And yeah, she turns. She's like, "All right, let's get out of here."
Okay, so with that, we've gone full circle. Herbert, you're obviously still getting the brunt of who's left. As people are kind of running out of the room, there's the alarm that's weird. The alarms, for anybody who's really paying attention, have visibly, or I'm sorry, audibly become more of actual sirens. Whether it was the fire alarm being pulled, or whether it was actually that somebody had busted this place, it does sound like actual sirens now. And that is definitely spooking people in the audience. But that's also making them more desperate. As they try to get out of here to save themselves, some of them are turning on one another and are sapping, pushing, trampling, shooting to get out of here. With that, obviously if they would do it to each other, they would easily and happily do it to you. So first person would be Eriyou. Obviously in your case, as you were fighting these people, there would be people who were trying to shoot you. So what would you use to defend yourself against guns?
I mean, maybe my Post-it notes. Like, I feel like this is my opportunity to do like something really cool. Like, as I beat those three guys, I got grazed with the bullet, right? But I beat those three guys in front of me.
Yeah.
And I realized, hey, I have to do something about these bullets now. I'm no longer immune to them. I see new ones lining up to me, so I do like a spin, and I toss like confetti almost, like these Post-it notes, right, in the air. But they all magically have things about the people, like really deep personal secrets about them. Like mind fuck, right? Like
Okay.
they all like reveal all their like darkest secrets. Like they look at it and realize, holy shit, someone else reads this. This will ruin me. Like one sucks his thumb, or like one still wets the bed. Like
Okay. Give me a roll. It sounds
that would
like
probably be Imagine, right?
Imagine, right? Yeah.
Cool. Okay, double fail.
Tags.
I feel like scholarly. Because I have to somehow know all these things about these people. The magic of my Post-it notes.
So yeah, we already kind of talked about these Post-it notes were kind of like strange, supernatural, like because you really think it's kind of like you're in a system, right? So they're not real. That's how these could actually be manipulated, and yeah, so maybe it's like your thoughts could be on these, and if you could peg these people appropriately. So sure, scholarly.
Okay.
Now,
Thankfully, no, actually, that's, you know what? I'll take it. It's a double fail. I'm going to die. It's a crit fail.
what is the worst possible thing that could happen, Sal?
My Post-it do absolutely nothing, and it just gets shot through. But I was targeting mine, so I don't know how that would affect my mind.
Well, it could affect your mind. I'll leave that be for a second. I'll let you guys talk first. What do you think is the worst possible? Oh, they'll just start shooting you, right? Kush, what do you think is the worst possible thing that could happen? He thinks in his head that throwing these Post-it notes, and they'll all magically land on different people and say the worst possible thing about them.
I think he tries it, and I think the bullets just keep coming, and he thinks it's working. Just like throughout this entire milestone, those delusions, he thinks it's working, and it very clearly to everyone else isn't. People are getting shot, people are getting killed, and that delusional aspect of his personality finally starts to take over. He doesn't know what's real anymore.
I don't have delusional anymore. I have scholarly now.
Okay, but you're delusional instead. Well, we'll add that in. I'm probably am transferring.
This way, is that everyone in the group that would be delusional now?
I think so.
I don't have a problem. Do you want to take it to a vote?
I mean, I do act delusional, so I wouldn't be opposed to being tagged with that. But
I think
I'm
a
saying I
hippo.
don't have it, like, officially.
Yeah, I think everyone in this group is delusional.
Could that be like a world tag, Pete?
It could be, yeah. We could totally make that a session, like a world tag. So basically what world tags are just that, like, we could have, like, governing tags that could be over a session or over the entire, like, sort of campaign. Where we would have that kind of, like, floating up in basically the heavens for anyone to use. But it would dictate that it's like that people generally are delusional, and it's not just you guys; it's like everybody, right?
I think after this, everyone will be. Because the Post-it notes probably still have the things that say terrible things about themselves.
Yeah.
They're just criminals and they don't.
Let's take that to a vote. So first of all, vote. Does Sout get delusional?
Yes.
I'm cool with it. Okay, Sout, you get delusional. On the left side of your tags, which does that give you 5 tags now?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm all tagged up.
I'm all tagged up. So, do we want to add delusional, as in, or delusions, as a part of this campaign that people have delusions?
I wouldn't be against it.
I think it
Kind of.
fits because, like,
Yeah.
Sissy, like, was poking this dude and he just bit off her finger. Now she's trying to judo
Everyone
push
is just
people.
crazy.
Like,
Yeah. So
Goodness.
we're adding the world tag of delusions or delusional, right? Okay. So moving right along, that would be. That was only Kush. We didn't finish. What's the worst thing that could happen?
sorry, yeah, I just got
Morgan
excited.
or
Sorry.
Lucid? Do you have one? What's the worst that
I
could
do.
happen? Cool. Go for it.
I was thinking the specific people he was trying to target with the Post-it notes. They all shoot at him, and they all miss. And so, again, he's like, his ego's through the roof, and he's like, you guys can't hit me. And then there's, like, a cracking sound behind him. And, like, part of the wooden paneling along the back of the stage, the wall that we had stepped out of,
Yeah.
like, slowly there's, like, cracking sounds. And he turns around just to look at it. And for a second, there's nothing, and then it just cracks and comes falling down on top of him.
That is the most epic, like, Looney Tunes thing ever. So it's great. Okay. Lucid, what do you think? What's the worst possible thing that could happen?
Mine kind of played off of what Kush had. Kind of, he throws it up, and they all start shooting, and like it doesn't work, and the bullets just start hammering home, hitting him, and he falls to the ground like bloodied and stuff, and like one last note to really add insult to injury, like it lands on his forehead, and as he pulls it up on the thing, it just says loser.
Okay. So, for Eriyou, these Post-it notes go flying up in the air. And as, like, the camera of, like, the movie, right? The movie camera follows them. All the audience hears is just bullets firing. And then when they come back down, like, your cloak is just flowing, right? And nobody knows because you have this black cloak on, whether you just ate a bunch of shots or whatnot. And then the Post-it notes all fall down. And some of them, kind of like weave like leaves towards people. But as they start hitting the ground, they start landing in pools of blood. And when you see them, you kind of spin around as you're like seeing if any of them hit any of the targets. not concerned at all about the bullets firing at you, right? Because they can't hurt you. So as you spin around, you follow the falling Post-it notes as they all just land and start turning red in your blood. And you are faced with trying to actually mentally accept this.
So wait, don't I get negative tag too, right?
You do. In your case, first of all, can you take 4 points to... Well, you were going to say mind, right? So
Right,
can you
'cause I was
take 4
trying to,
points
like,
to your
mess with
mind?
them. I could survive that, yeah.
Okay. So take 4 to your mind.
Not to my body, though. That would be overkill. I have a low body. That's why after I got hit once already, I was like, I'm going to target the mind this time.
There you go. There you go. So you take 4
Already-
points to your mind, and as you're
Yeah.
staring at these, what do you guys think? What just happened to his mind?
It's like the shattering glass sound effect. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not Neo.
just that crushing sort of like childish disappointment of, like you said, like, I'm not Neo.
Childish disappointment. That's like really good. Crushing childish disappointment. It seems like
Does that block my ego?
It's like a kid who dropped their ice cream and they're just staring at it, melting on the pavement, and, like,
Except it's my
mixing into
blood?
the dirt.
Damn.
Yeah.
Morbid.
Gosh, yeah. I'm like, it's got to be something that says he's not invincible, right? That he's vulnerable. That he's Oh wow! You take the tag unimportant.
Oh.
I take it that will block my ego, right?
It's up to you, but that, of course that's very fitting.
Yeah.
Perfect. What I'm thinking is, like, if this was a video game, you just were like, wait, I'm not the main character. You're like,
Pretty much like an anime. I'm the side character.
Okay, so with that, moving right along. So, anybody have an action they want to take?
I think in all of this going on, like,
Yeah.
just my rampaging, I hear the gunshots off to the side, like just all of a sudden a big burst of them, and I look over to see him getting shot, and I just kind of like charge at the 3 that were attacking him, or however many there were.
Yeah.
And like I'm running in like this weird, like kind of on all fours with my deformed limbs, charging like a hippo, and I come up behind one of them, and I just like bite through its boot and rip out its Achilles tendon.
Thanks for the monkey walk. When you said that, like, I just imagined the gorilla with those arms, and you just kind of like running. And for like no good reason, there's this long space of runway for you, like, you just charge up. Like, all these people were trying to evade and get out of here, and like you finally like broke through and knocked some people off stage and had like a clear runway. So, what strategy do you want to use?
I think it's probably, since I'm trying to bite out their ankle, basically, Mighty Mouth again.
And I imagine, right?
I mean, that's up to you. Hey, I could
like
see it being
imagine.
either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly because you went for the ankle, like you know, because you're tall, right? You have to like run and like dive and bite the ankle, kind of thing. Oh,
He's
easy.
officially an ankle biter.
Okay. So, sorry. It's inspired by the change of heart, but it doesn't necessarily. Well, God. Actually, I think it's pretty great, right? So you run up and you start to charge at these guys. Sissy grabs the guy out of your way and tries to like judo flip him out of the way. And what it is she's seen enough people get hurt today. So like a
change of
matador,
heart
she's trying
can't
to
hurt
move
us.
the guy out of your way so that this nasty, horrible thing can't happen.
Can we have Sissy join our team as an NPC? I want Sissy Take No Shit Birmingham on our team.
So, Lucid, re-roll your successes and see if they
Wait, time out. Pete.
Yeah.
Pete. Kush added that tag. So
Yeah.
you can't use it against us.
We could use it either way.
What?
Yep.
Kush, this is all your fault. I didn't
gonna-
know that. I learned something now.
If you can use it either way, then it's like don't give them any tags.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
don't
like
ever
take all tags away, and then the GM can't stop you.
The thing that's cool about this is how it's moving the story forward. Is it's reinforcing the change of heart she's having. While it may be hurting you against the challenge.
Oh, he got a double crit.
Whoa.
Oh, crit success.
Yeah, because you always reroll one die at a time, even if you have to reroll both. So that breaks what she was doing. So what's the best possible thing that could happen? First of all, we would go to probably Sout. We go Sout, Kush, Morgan. She tries
I
to
kind of like
flip
what
him out of
Morgan
the
was
way.
saying. I think she's going to join our group. She likes Mighty Mouse over here's tenacity. So instead of like going to save it with a judo flip, she's actually judo flipping the guy into the other guy because obviously Herbert is gnawing on one dude, and I just got shot. So Sissy just had a change of heart. Like she saw me, right? Like trying to. I was delusional. Like, wow, this crazy dude thought he can stop bullets with Post-it notes, and this guy's gnawing on ankles. There's something magical about these groups. Like this guy's still smiling at me while he's death grip Luker, and well, Jack's not in the scene, but she could just sense that Jack's indomitable spirit is still out there trying to stop this convention.
It's worth mentioning this will defeat the challenge. So this will overturn the criminal convention. And honestly, kind of what may happen here is it may also show Sir Slekton being more situationally smart than the hippo.
Yeah, I kind of like it too because the hippo's like pure animal mode, right? And like Sir Slekton is like talking to people, shaking hands.
But he was the one who caused the change of heart.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, I'm just gonna come back into the room for sake of being there.
Okay, so did you want to change anything you said or recap it real quick?
No, just like I said, I think she will join our group, and she had a change of heart. She saw the 4 of us weirdos, and she's like, "These are my people." Like, because she secretly wants to just spin around in cloaks and throw notes at people and bite ankles too. I don't know.
Okay.
She had a change of heart.
Slekton, Kush, what do you think? What's the best possible thing that can happen right here? That also overturns the criminal convention.
I think that sounds pretty good. I think she uses like the last of her clout to just like tell everyone to get out of there. Like, this is over, it's done, and that's it.
Okay. So you think she says, yeah, more facing the crowd, not anything necessarily with the crew. Okay. Morgan, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the idea of her becoming one of us
I like the
and
idea
our
of her.
crazy, delusional crew.
Okay, Lucy, what do you think?
I mean, I'm good with all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that the double milestone type of thing makes perfect sense with the way this is played out.
okay. That's why we did the vision rolls before. Is we kind of saw that coming, that this one was almost going to be like a punch. To wrap that up, what do you guys... I heard you guys talk about Sissy in a way that, like her joining your crew. But let's be a little more descriptive, right? What do you think is like one thing that shows change from this situation? That shows like her actually either being a part of your group or doing something that helps your group? Other than getting the guys out of here. Because that's a given, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I think what she saw in the group, like as crazy, insane as we clearly were, we were still very much, it looked like, working together, defending each other, trying to resolve things in our own ways, but to the betterment of the group. Whereas she's always kind of like led by fear and never actually had anybody look out for her. And she almost seems like she could be a family almost, like, and something she's always longed for secretly. But the best she's ever had was being the domineering stepmother to all these hooligans, basically.
Plus, she ate her finger, so she's a part of you now forever.
Does somebody else have something? What's one thing that changes within Sissy in this situation, or that your characters notice about her that make this situation more?
Oh! I got something. I'm sorry, I just got excited. The world tag of delusion. One of us. The delusion has infected her, so she's like, "There's got to be something better than this world." So she thinks maybe there's also this is a matrix like.
Is there something that your character does or says at the end of this challenge or immediately after that makes that happen?
Yeah. I say I'm not the main character. Because I'm defeated. I'm unimportant. And maybe after I say it, she realizes she's the main character.
Morgan, what do you think? You had something a second ago. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I think of her character, I feel like she's the type of person who had, like, a difficult childhood or, like, a difficult upbringing and very much had to, like, fend for herself. And, like, she made this own world for herself. She's in charge. She's the boss. Because, like, that's that's the way she knows how to succeed in life. Is if she puts her foot down and is in charge of everyone, then nothing can oppose her. But I think sort of like Lucid said, with like this group, when she sees like a team, not exactly working together, but definitely working with each other, and like you said, protecting each other and working as a team with no like solidified leader, sort of everybody doing their own part to make this happen. It's sort of like a weird awakening for her that we are working, we are functioning as crazy as we are without a leader, without somebody controlling us, without somebody telling us what to do. We aren't even like talking to each other or discussing. We're just doing everything and it's working. And I feel like that really resonates with the one view she had on life. And it's sort of making her realize that perhaps there's different ways to do things.
Okay, so Kush, did you have something else you wanted to add, or are you good with that?
Mostly good with all that. I like the idea of if Eriyou, is like kind of laying there whispering, "I'm not the main character," and Sissy realizes, wait, maybe I am, and she looks up and she gets this look in her eye, and if we're thinking cinematically, all of a sudden like this title pops up on the screen, like overlaid, over and it's just like how Sissy got her finger back.
Okay, so only things we have to do there is Jack, for Morgan, your character is the criminal convention's been overturned. What does that mean to your character? As you see people fleeing, as you see Sissy on the stage kind of processing this after she just basically grabbed a gun off the ground, shot into the ceiling, and said, "The cops are here, the gig's up, get out, go home, go away." And everyone just kind of starts running and leaving, and they're still kind of trampling and moving, but she kind of disperses them, and she kind of lingers there a little long. You mentioned some of those things about her character, about her person. You are a character that knows her profile. So, I mean, is it you staring at her and knowing what this, seeing that Sissy takes no shit Birmingham, damn it, I forgot what it is. Buckingham.
Maybe that's her real name all along.
Or what do you think? What ties the overthrowing the criminal convention for you? What is that moment for your character?
I think my character, it sees Sissy, it sees the people running, it sees everything that happens. And Jack's he looks around and then he just starts laughing. And it's like, that was awesome!
What was her last name again? Sissy what?
I'm going to take a second look just to make sure, because I almost messed it up really bad right there. Birmingham.
Okay.
Sissy takes no shit Birmingham.
Could her if she's joining us like that, and had this change of heart and all that, would her new name be Sissy Gives a Shit After All Birmingham?
Oh my god, where's my pencil? Sissy gives a shit after all, Birmingham.
I love that.
Oh my god. Okay. Strike through. Gives a shit after all. Okay. To do this right. Sorry, I was looking. Oh, Slekton. Do you feel that do you see the moment where you could have proved that you were situationally smarter here than Herbert?
Yeah.
Setting the stage a little bit, like Herbert bit the finger off of Sissy, you shook her hand.
I think so. I think now Slekton realizes, people might find value in him more than just in his strong right arm or his winning smile, There's something up here too. Not much, but something.
So, kind of as this is happening, what do you think Sissy says to the group after everyone disperses? Don't forget, you still have Rutger, and Rutger is the cause for this. He, as far as you know, is in charge of this coffin thing, and all of you guys were put in it. You don't really know why, and I don't think you really care still. But you're pretty sure he pushed you in there, but you're not really mad at him because he's your friend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he pushed me in so I could become friends with Jack, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he always had a plan.
Ultimately, we're going to lead towards having to revitalize nature. Nature's a very broad term, right? It could be nature as in like the natural world, or this world, or the nature of this world within a world. What do you think comes out of Sissy that's going to be better out of this, right? Yeah, she told everyone to leave. She's still here, though. If you guys want her to be a part of the group, why is she a part of the group? What happens?
She wants her finger back.
She can wait a few days.
Oh no.
But,
I don't know. Maybe she realizes there's more to this world than, and maybe she realizes that she's lost her finger, but she doesn't care. So maybe that makes her feel like maybe we're on to something that this isn't the real world either. I don't know.
well, and us.
Oh, by the way, I take off my cloak really defeatedly.
You're like, you've been shot like 4 times. like you take the cloak off, you're like bleeding everywhere.
I think
But I don't look sad that I've been shot. I look sad that I'm not
that the cloak doesn't
character.
work. I think as far as like us accepting her or something like that, maybe it's kind of we're realizing we don't really know what's going on entirely.
Yeah.
And she seems to want to help now. We kind of saw her help with her own people stop kind of a little bit at the end there maybe. And so it's almost like more of a guide to this reality.
That's what I was thinking as well, actually.
Okay.
Like, she knows this world.
Kush, do you like that? The reason I'm asking you is because you're Milestone.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So she walks up to the group, and as everyone's left, and she points at Rutger. All right, where did they come from? Because you put him in there, didn't you? And if you put him in there, we need to put him back. And you don't think she means in the box, meaning she means like wherever you came from. Like some kind of like, we need to free the imprisoned, or we need to fix what you broke, Rutger. Does anybody have any last words you want to say?
I keep muttering I'm not the main character.
Right? Yeah, as like the screen kind of pans out and like, the HUD display shows and you're right, like, you see Sissy? Hello! Okay. So, if there's no last words, we get to you.
As we see her kind of turning or whatever, I kind of walk up to her, blood all over my mouth, and she's like, "Sorry, I ate your finger." That's my last words.
Also, should one of us realize that is Herbert?
Well,
not
if
me.
you said it, it should be you, right?
I guess so.
It wouldn't be hard to deduce, right? If you
Yeah,
saw enough
no.
of them fighting.
How are you gonna make her roll? That'd be hilarious.
Do I need to make a roll? Get a
What?
critical fail?
It would be hilarious. Why don't you go for it?
Imagine a reason.
Reason.
Oh,
Critical
ball.
fail!
Word.
So,
I thought it was a critical fail for a second.
It's critical both.
okay. Which is really, really ridiculous. Like, why did we make her roll? So we might have a critical. So, the best possible thing that can happen, Morgan.
We know it's Herbert.
Morgan, I'll leave that to you, right? Well, what's the worst possible thing that can happen?
We don't know it's Herbert.
Kush, Lucid, Stout, think for a second, and then as soon as one of you has an idea, spit it out. What's
Or
the
the
worst
worst
thing that could
possible?
happen? Yeah, what's the worst possible thing? She looks over and she's like, "Hey, I think that's Herbert after all."
Worst possible, I think, is playing off of her like they don't recognize me, but taking it a step further, all they see is this deformed, crazed cannibal guy.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Like, we think that's not Herbert, but she's like, no, this is Herbert, guys. Like, Herbert's a hippo. This dude ate a finger. It's not Herbert.
So I know
Herbert-
it's Herbert, but nobody believes me.
Okay, that's a fitting
Even
end,
Herbert
right?
doesn't know he's-
So she points the finger. She points her other only pointer finger at Rutger and tells him, you're gonna fix this. We're gonna take if you put them away, we're gonna put them back where they belong. And Herbert chimes in, sorry I ate your finger, and everyone turns and stares at him. It takes a good long look at this monstrous.
But I am still talking in the same voice that they heard before too, as Herbert.
Which is this really soft, almost southern voice. That's great. Southern charm, yeah. Okay, so with that, the screen goes black as everyone looks at Herbert in dismay, and only Jack knows the truth that it is actually Herbert. As the others realize, wait, where did we pick up this crazy gorilla cannibal? So,
We had a hippo, not a gorilla.
everyone, it's time for gratitude. So think for a second on what was your favorite moment that another player gave you. What made your experience better because someone did or said this meeting?
I liked the yo-yo attack just because I think that I was hoping he would do something like that with the yo-yo.
And don't forget, you still have it. So we have a yo-yo.
I really liked Cush's going up, shake his hand, shake her hand. That was brilliant.
I like Herbert's. The fact that he's Herbert no matter what body he's at. So the fact that he just bit off a finger with no second, oh, I'm really human. Fuck it, I'm still a hippo. That whole inner, that dialogue he had going,
Yeah.
I'm human. No, I'm a hippo. Just chomp that shit off.
I really liked the realization that Eriyou had of not being the main character, and I'm interested in seeing how it's have to deal with that in the next session.
He gave a great face when that happened. He was like, "What? What?" All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Thanks to the crew for playing. We return next time to finish out this story about finding the cure to ignorance with our final milestone, which is to revitalize nature. With that, see you next week.
Nice.
Bye.
And,